Paul Revere, William Dawes, Samuel Prescott, and especially that lady who gave up her petticoat, helped win the Revolutionary War that resulted in a new nation. Oh, and by the way, we all know who the first president of that new nation was, right? Well, if you said the guy with the wooden teeth, then you only get partial credit. Because the crazy truth is that we've had 3 other first presidents. 3! Most of us remember the story like this. In 1776, the American colonies declare their independence. Then, George Washington, that dashing general destined to adorn the $1 bill, stuns the world by defeating the mighty British Army. He mothballs his uniform and throws his hat in the political ring. And before you can say, I cannot tell a lie, Washington is elected the first president of the United States. I mean, everyone knows that, right? The problem with that version is that it skips over more than a decade of American history.
We have this myth that in 1776 we declare independence, and then very quickly we create a government, the government that we've had ever since. But if you think about it for more than 2 minutes, you realize the Declaration is 1776 and the Constitution is written in 1787. That's 11 years. So what happens in those 11 years?
Good question. In those lost years, the forgotten fact is that America is ruled by governments that come before our cherished Constitution. And it's those governments that our other first presidents lead. Our first president is John Hancock, the same Boston patriot warned by Paul Revere on his midnight ride. In 1776, he's president of the Continental Congress, the American colony's fledgling national government. And when he and the other delegates put their John Hancocks on the Declaration of Independence, he's instantly promoted to the president of the newly declared United States, making him the first president.
It's Hancock who probably comes closest to working out originally what the model of the presidency would be, not because he had any special ambition of his own, but because the burdens of the office were increasing as the war escalated.
Our second first president is Samuel Huntington, but almost nobody remembers him because he makes the list only on a technicality. He happens to be president of the Continental Congress in 1781, when the Articles of Confederation are ratified, laying out a new form of government for the new nation. The first president elected under the Articles of Confederation and to serve his full term in office is John Hanson of Maryland. And many historians believe that fact makes Hanson America's first president. Period. And you don't have to listen to the experts. Ask the father of our country.
It's a matter of record that Washington himself spoke of John Hanson as the nation's first president.
Hanson is also a mover and a shaker who spearheads the fight to ratify the Articles of Confederation.
It was Hanson who solved the problem, got the Articles ratified, and permitted the creation of a government.
But Hanson's forgotten term in office shatters our most basic belief about the American presidency, that it's always been a supreme position of power. Under the Articles, the presidency is as toothless as Washington without his dentures.
Within the Articles of Confederation, the President of Congress simply presided over Congress, and it was really the states and the representatives that had the power in terms of what Congress could do.
As president, Hanson can't even answer a letter without congressional approval, and terms are limited to just 1 year. The office has no muscle by design, since the new Americans have just freed themselves from a tyrannical king across the Atlantic. The last thing they want to do is hand over too much power to their own leader. In spite of his limited powers, Hanson still makes his mark, literally. He's the first to use the Great Seal of the United States, the same design used by presidents to this day on all official documents. Under Hanson, a number of cabinet positions are created, early precursors of the Department of Defense, Department of State, and the Attorney General's Office, among others. But even with all those achievements, John Hanson realizes it isn't just the presidency that's seriously flawed. It's the whole government. The deepening crisis threatens to tear the new nation apart and send this experiment in democracy to history's trash heap.